Hello, I'm Ted Burke, the pastor of Crestwood United Methodist Church, and I'm doing a series on the stations of the cross. I'm looking at the stations as captions or pictures of Jesus on his last day of his life. I'm standing here in front of a poster that lists the different ministries of our church, ministries we support financially and in other ways. And so I wanted to share this with you because of today's station. It's station number 5. Simon of Cyrene carries Jesus' cross. You see, what we know is that they had taken a man out of the crowd and told him to carry the cross of Jesus. We find this in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And I'm indebted to my son-in-law who offered help with this one. First, a few things about this station. We learn is that the man who has been taken out is from Cyrene or Cyrenian, which is a city in northern Africa, what we now would call Libya. It had a large Jewish population in that city, well over 100,000 people. And Mark's gospel mentions that he is the father of Alexander and Rufus. Now, we don't know who they are, but history says that they became evangelists in the early church, and that's why their name is mentioned here. Now, my son-in-law, Dr. Glenn Cossey, wrote today's station. Glenn is the Vice President of Development at Bellarmine. He is a person who volunteers for a lot of organizations and has done several mission trips. He's married to our stepdaughter, Kelly. And I'm honored to read to you the words that he wrote about this station. The station of the cross that has special meaning to me is the 5th station, where Simon helps Jesus carry the cross. They pressed into service a passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross. Mark 15:21. Simon did not assume this task willingly, as he was pressed into service. He was forced to share in Jesus' poverty at that moment and take on an unpleasant task that he did not want to assume. How often are we as humans unwilling to share in other people's poverty? All of us have crosses to bear ourselves, but looking into this moment offers us the opportunity to examine how we give of ourselves to relieve the burden of those around us. This is relevant to the broader context of our current world, and especially important in these days of COVID-19 and the suffering it is causing. I believe that giving of ourselves to others is a manifestation of God's love. I believe in God. God is love, and that God is present when we love others. Thomas Merton wrote in the preface to No Man is an Island, we must believe in the power of love. We must recognize that our being itself is grounded in love. That is to say, that we come into being because we realize God in our everyday life. This isn't always easy, and just like Simon, we sometimes need to be pressed into service. When Jesus needed help carrying his cross, he displayed the poverty of not being able to fully help himself. It is by helping others in need that we can emulate Simon in the 5th station of the cross and share God's love with others. You know, God placed us on this earth for a purpose. It's not a checking account or a job or a gold watch. It's with a purpose: to know God, to love God, and to love the people of God. And so I appreciate what Glenn has written here and invite you to think about who is it that you know that maybe could use a phone call, 2 or 3 people, just to say hello, maybe a text, even a card or letter. just as a way in this time we are spread out to say that you care. I want to take a moment now and show you these organizations that we support as a church.